The world lost a brave and beautiful soul, but her loss will not be in vain.
She knew there were plans to silence her and her group completely. She spoke about it. But was that enough to scare her? No. She narrowly survived an assassination attempt by the skin of her teeth. Unfortunately, she wasn't so successful the second time, as her husband sustained serious injuries. The story of Amina Okueva is all over the internet. But how much do you know about who she is, what her struggles were, and the impacts and highlights of her relatively short but eventful life? Amina Okueva was born in the historic port city of Odessa in early June 1983 to a Chechen father and a Polish mother. Amina never knew her father because he died while she was still very young. Instead, she grew up alone with her mother as an only child. She and her mother moved around a few times before she became an adult. Until 2003, Amina lived with her mother in Moscow and then Grozny, the capital of Chechnya. Amina briefly worked as a model in Russia before moving to Grozny, Chechnya. While in Chechnya, the Second Chechen conflict erupted, and Amina decided to become a soldier. After a year of fighting, she got married to another soldier named Isa Mustafinov and reverted to Islam. Their union produced a son named Shamil. Isa Mustafinov's death a couple of years later made Amina marry Islam Tukhashev, also known as Islam Okuev, and the couple moved to Ukraine in 2003. Amina enrolled at the National Medical University in Odessa for a degree in medicine and surgery, specializing in general surgery. Due to her husband, Islam Tukhashev's residency status and his problem with the law, their marriage did not last. Amina graduated medical school and got married for the third time, this time to Adam Usmayev, a Chechen national and leader of the Dzhokhar Dudayev Battalion. The Dzhokhar Dudayev Battalion is a peacekeeping battalion named after the former Chechen leader. Amina briefly worked as an intern at a local hospital before taking up full-time activism against Russia's influence in Chechnya and Ukraine. One of Amina's many feathers was being one of the most vocal and critical parts of the Euromaidan protests. She led an activist group comprised of veterans who fought in the Afghan conflict and also treated wounded protesters in the Euromaidan protests. Seeing that activism was not making enough impact as she wanted to, she joined the Kiev II Volunteer Battalion in the fight against the armed, self-proclaimed Luhansk and Donetsk People's Republic fighters in eastern Ukraine. She also served as the spokesperson for the Dzhokhar Dudayev International Peacekeeping Mission. Amina fought many battles on and off the field. Her battle scars, either physical or emotional, were not enough to deter her, to make her back down from fighting for what she believes to be the right thing. While at the conflict front in Luhansk and Donetsk, Amina left the syringe and the scalpel and took up arms as her preferred tool of choice, despite being a trained medic. She fought valiantly alongside other members of the Ukrainian military and paramilitary in the Battle of Debaltseve in Luhansk Oblast. In 2014, a year before the conflict in Luhansk Oblast, and while Amina was serving as a police officer in the Ukrainian Ministry of Internal Affairs, she contested in the parliamentary elections as an independent candidate to represent the Suvorovsky Rayon of Odessa at the Verkhovna Rada Parliament of Ukraine. She lost the election, polling less than 4% of the total votes cast. She quickly moved on and would later play a crucial role when the conflict in the Donetsk and Luhansk region started early the following year. Amina's work and activism meant there was always a target on her back. And despite acknowledging this on several speaking occasions, she didn't relent in her activities. And on June 1st, 2017, the subtle or sometimes conspicuous threats to her life took a different turn when she and her husband, Adam Ismaev, became subjects of an assassination attempt. The assailant had posed as a French journalist to gain access to them, and when he did, opened fire immediately. While her husband was hit, Amina bravely summoned her government-issued firearm and fired several rounds into the assailant. The attempt on Amina followed a similar pattern some other members of her unit, the anti-terrorist organization fighting against the separatists in Donetsk and Luhansk region, were subjected to. Both her husband and the assailant were hospitalized for wounds sustained in the attack. However, the second time such an attempt happened again became fatal for Amina. On the 30th of October 2017, their car was attacked at a railway crossing. She sustained several injuries along with her husband. Her husband survived, but sadly, she didn't.
Попала в голову, я сколько мог проехал, еще машина тоже куда двигатель попали, что не знаю, остановилась. Я ее пытался показать первую помощь там, но ей в голову попали.
Amina's death was a sad event that enveloped Ukraine and most especially her base in Odessa. It caused a ripple effect, felt all over the world, a testament to the impact she had made while she was alive. She received tributes from the United States Congress and other nations and organizations outside Ukraine.
In Liberty's struggle, let her bravery in life serve as an inspiration to us all, and let the international community stand with Ukraine shoulder to shoulder.
The Ukrainian military, the Kiev City Council, and Dnipro City Council have taken steps to immortalize Amina Okueva, including an exhibition and a couple of streets named after in both cities.